In this exercise, we are seeing classes and objects. So basically, before we studied structures, in structures normally we find that both are almost similar. Structure and class are almost similar only, but the only difference is classes will have objects, structure will have its own variables. So class is nothing but a blueprint, an object. There will be many objects, like for example, there is a student saw KARUNYA University, means there will be civil department, mechanical department and biotechnology department. There will be different departments. So the class will be one and objects will be many. So similar case will be the structure and its functions also. But the syntax little bit varies because class is completely private, whereas in structure is always public. Let's see the program. So this first program is like I need to create a class flight. So how will I create a class flight? I will be given, when I am asked to create the class flight, I will be given the member functions as well, member functions as well as the data types. What are the data, everything they will give. So what the data will be given like this. So in this data I can see that the flight number, all these things are nothing but the inputted basic data and some calculations, all those things will be given, and distance you need to do. So these all are included within a class. This I am talking only for one class I am using, that is a flight. Okay, a particular flight. There are variety of flights, no? SpiceJet is there, Jet Airways is there, Indian Airlines is there, like that many flights are there. So for all these different kinds of flights, I will be able to use this one particular thing. But the speciality of a class is using the member functions. What is the member functions means? If there is many flights like SpiceJet, Jet Airways, Indian Airlines, means all these flights, they cannot access this particular data because they will be private. Everything, if suppose if your laptop is secured with a password, you cannot take it. But I can easily, the other flight names, they can handle this particular function. They will only be in connection, they will have with the functions only, and these functions, they will have contact with these private members. Since all these are within a class, so they will get the data from these private members. They'll get the data and they'll do the function and they'll give these values to that particular flight. SpiceJet means. Same way, if it is another flight, Jet Airways means Jet Airways also will ask to this function, and once the function is being given, then operation is given, it will try to retrieve the data, do the operation and give the output. So this is the logic. So let us see the program. The program also same thing only. Initially I will be giving input the data. Then here the main logic of this program is like I am going to calculate the distance. Not the distance. With the distance I am going to connect. Okay. If a flight is traveling for example, a flight is traveling this much kilometers, this should utilize this much petrol or diesel. It will take it into account. No, for example, if it is traveling 50 kilometers, means it may take 50 liters of petrol. Like that, what kind of connection will be there between the distance and the fuel amount? That only I will be using in different cases of if conditions. I will be calculating. That also I will make it within a data only, data type. Then my functions will be made public. In my functions, as usual, I will be getting the data and I will be displaying it. Then later, these main function in structures, normally we find that here I had like this is in structures, it is known as variables, whereas here it is object. This is object, and this object, like similar to structure only, I will be calling. But structure you can call the SpiceJet dot distance, but here if you type SpiceJet dot distance means it is wrong, because it cannot handle the private. It is outside this class loop. So if I am doing like that, it is wrong. So I will be able to access only this particular public part. This function, what is the logic means, this will, as soon as I type this, it will go to this function, it will try to do that operation. So how to do this operation? How will it be able to do the operation? With the help of all these data. Once the function is being asked to do the work, it will try to get the data and it will do the operation, then give the result, and it will be displayed here. That's it with the program. Let us see the output of this program. Type in this program. Flight number 56. The distance will be 10. Then 45. The distance is giving 2000. This is above 2000. I'll be getting this. Suppose if my value is 1800, my distance means this is 1800, it's automatically the fuel value will be 1100. Then if your distance is 500 means automatically distance will be different. Let us see that case also. Run it. Flight number, destination. It is 456. It will be, again the fuel value will be 500. In the case of it is if the distance is 1500, then it will be 1000 corresponding. Then later the operations will be done, and especially why I am using SpiceJet means different flights. Different flights will be there. These are objects. These objects will access the main function. The main function will access the data, do the operation and give it back. Basically, why I should use private? Because the class means is for its security. That's why I'm using private. Then I cannot access from the main function. I cannot access this distance. I cannot access. I can access only this particular function. And with this function will again it can relate something and it will give a result. But the thing is I cannot go to the data. What is there in the private I cannot access. That is the main core logic. In accordance with the class, this book will be created. When the book class is created, it is completely private and the data will be accessed. These data are like the basic thing, like in a supermarket, the calculation will be done. One brinjal into many brinjals, I'll multiply and get the output. This only total calculation can be included. Then basic function again will get an output. function will be accessed directly with the object. Object will have connection with the functions. These functions, they will somehow link with the data, but the public access only can have with the function. That's the logic. Main function is having connection like that only. Then later the logic will go on like that. Now let us see the program. This program also will go on like that. The data will be there, the data, then the total cost will calculate. Like in a supermarket, there are 50 brinjals, 50 tomatoes, means the one price of one tomato 50 rupees into 50 tomatoes. We have to just multiply it, give the output. Then you have to go for the input of the data, then output of the data. More than getting all these input output, the class concept is important, because from the main function it can access only the public part, not the private one. That is the main core logic. Later the public will be able to access the private, not the public is not accessing the private. Within the same bracket I'm having no class, so it's able to access. The output of the program will go on like this. Running the program means the book number 5674, the title and the author series, it's Nitro. How we became the king. Price per copy will be 65, means the number of copies will be 4, then it will become 260. Then I will calculate the total cost. Now everything, all these things are objects. Author is an object, Harry Potter will be another object, then Aladdin will be another object. Like that, many books will be different objects. These objects, they can access one object at a time, will access all these functions. These functions, they will retrieve they can get some help, they'll do the thing what they have to do and they will give it back. This is the logic. Then the same way, the book number, title, price, you'll get it as on like that, and the number of copies to purchase. Everything we enter means automatically you're getting the output. It's very simple. How to create the members are used, like how you are getting the teachers are entering the data. And you are performing the operation for various subjects, maths, chemistry, physics, all those subjects, and then displaying the necessary output, getting input output. Actually this input output will be having connection with the objects present in the main function. That is the main logic. Since like a database concept, I am able to access one object, will have control of all the entire thing. The object is nothing but an assistant of a class only, but then too, though it is an assistant, it will have control over everything of a class, like an inheritance. How the property is inherited is having more control, like that. Whatever is from the class, it will have the entire power to handle a normal class also. I'll be calculating the average of all these things. Average, why I'm using array concept? If I use array concept means it will be easy, but I'm not creating n number of objects. Instead of creating n number of objects concept, I'm not using. But since the marks, n sum marks, data structure, C++, and digital electronics, and chemistry, physics, all these marks are different marks, I need to go for array concept. And for 4-digit thing alone should be entered. For that I'm going for 4-digit admission number. So other admission number, 3-digit, 2-digit, just receive it. If you may ask why I can't use while loop. If suppose while loop means, it may create some issues, like it will accept only the particular 4 digit, then what to do? Initially you need to input something, no, it may all create errors. So to avoid that error, better use do while loop. It's an exit control loop, so it will be easy for us. Then later the name, marks, all these things need to be entered. And subjects, here you better use array. Why I'm using array? If you don't use array, you can't do, because 5 marks, otherwise you need to enter mark of 1, mark of 2, mark of 3, mark of 4. It is difficult. That's why I'm using arrays, otherwise you can do. Okay, make the program condensed. Okay, to make it condensed, I'm going for array idea. Then just display the data. So now these are all some operations given, but main concepts of class. Now only I'm coming to the concept. Concept is simple, like previous thing. The main function, I'm able to calculate the private thing. Private thing I will not be able to access. Only the public thing, the main function will be able to access. And how it's doing its operations, and how it's retrieving its data from its own class, and it's doing all these functions, returning it back to the main function, and you are getting the answers. So that is the class program. Almost the previous 2 programs we have seen, almost the concepts are almost similar, because everywhere the private concept comes directly from a main function. You cannot access a private, only public you are accessing, and you are doing. I have not come for n number of objects. If it's n number of objects, it's again little bit, then it comes to the real purpose, database concept. Real purpose will come into existence. Let me run this program. Run 4 digits. Suppose I type 3, 4, 5. It will not accept, because I gave while loop, no? Since I gave while loop, do says that 3 digits don't accept. Suppose I give even 2 digit, will not accept. Unless if I give a 4 digit number, then only you will get. It will enter into that loop and will ask you to enter your name. Suppose here the program is nsem. So your name, let your name be, my name is Albino Rock C. Then it will ask the marks. So in this program, I'm running the program. So while running the program is 4 digit addition. The name. Give it together so that the computer will take everything together. Then the subject marks need to be entered. Then I will get the output average. So that all these marks are entered using this function, reading function. Then already calculation will be done in the data, and the data will be only the total will be brought here, average itself will be brought here, and I will be displaying my answer in this way. But the main logic is, since it is a class, the class is known only for privateness. So the privateness, though it is private, only it can access. The class can access only privateness concept is coming. Public function. Public can be accessed only by a main function. And the data. So why should I use while privateness? Means this because of this. And why I'm using while loop means, while loop is for the 4 digit admission number mentioned in the question. And later why I'm using array concept is for easy convenience of different things. And later arrays also I'm using, getting the data, then giving the result. In this session we are just going to have a quick recap of what we have seen. So the quick recap starts like, is dealing with the classes and objects. In classes, normally we dealt with how it is a private concept is instituted in it and how it is not able to access the private when it is there in the main function, and objects also, they are also not able to access the private, only public they will be able to access. The first program was flight. The data will be read through. Some operations like data fuelness, I'll be using if loop condition now. If I am using if loop condition will be able to give me different kinds of chances, different options A, B, C, D, like the choose the distance. We'll be able to get it, then the basic operation will be performed, like getting the data and giving out the output. So with better than this, all this giving inside and getting outside, the main important thing is how you are using the class concept. In class concept, how the privateness and data, the output will be generated. The next program also similar case. In case of class book, I'll be getting the member data. Inside itself, I can calculate the total cost, like how you are buying in a grocery and its quantities, all these things, the total cost can be calculated and the functions can be performed. So usually privateness is given to the data, public is given to the function, so that your class will directly have connection with this particular class within the main function, can have connection with the functions, and the function will have connection with all these data. It will do the operation and give the data back to the main function. Then my third program is again the report creation, like in some mark report, you are getting the teacher submitting the data, how you are giving all those marks are entered and how the information will be read and it will be read. So when there are many information, you can go for for loop and get the output. Basic logic is that again the class, if you are using class, we have to cannot use publicness continuously, we have to use privateness. Basically, if you want to use public means you have to mention public there, otherwise everything will be private, whereas in structure it will be everything will be public. That is the difference. And later it will be able to access the function alone, because function will be public and it will connect with the function, and the function will have connection with the data. It will do the operation and will give it back to the class.